Hey, what's going on, guys? We're back for Live with Luke. I got my main man, Jonas Coach Crafts, on the line. Me and Jonas go way back. We've actually been partners in the CBD business for some time. And Jonas was a former NFL player for many years and then got into the health side. And now he's coaching people about health and business on that end. So I had to pull my man in to help us educate on some understanding the benefits of what CBD oil is all about. And there's nothing greater than Jonas to share the screen with because, man, he's on fire to get people healthy. And I love that about you, Jonas. So, hey, man, give us a little bit more of your background, your story, and how you got to arrive at CBD.
Definitely, man. So, yeah, like you said, thanks for having me on. First and foremost, I come from, you can see my NFL jersey there, my college jersey there. You can see my book right there.
Bam. Just put it there. Just put it right there, bro.
That's where I come from, dude. So football my dad played professional football as well. And so health and functional fitness and functional wellness has just always been a part of our life. And that's what we do here at my clinic. It's hormones and weight loss and nutrients and detoxes and making sure that the body can perform at optimum level. And that's when the hemp world arrived into my life. And it's here in Texas. It's a very conservative state, if you will. And so that to me was one of the things. And I was like, what do you mean? And this was brought up to me. It was, Jonas, what do you know about the ECS in the human body? And I didn't know. And I said, wait, we deal with the endocrine system. Is that what this person's talking about? And so as I look up ECS, I start to see endocannabinoid system. And I go into cannabis, medicinal marijuana, and I'm saying, what's going on here? Like, I get it. And I believe in the effects because you're seeing it everywhere. But as far as I'm concerned, it's not legal here in Texas unless you know something I don't know. So yes, I do. And now what you're seeing from what President Obama signed in 2014, the 2014 Farm Bill Act, then President Trump had to re-sign it again because the DEA kind of got a little lost in there in 2016. So now President Trump, so this is a bipartisan. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. Everybody just wants health. We're not worried about picking sides. We all want to be healthy. And that's really how this came about. And that's when I was like, okay, there's definitely something here. Let's look deeper into this. And that's where we started getting into hemp and to CBD and to CBG, and that's where you and I got to meet, and it was like, hold on, there's something here for the human body, and because you get to focus all muscle skeletal, make sure everybody's good. I like to focus more on the nutrition side, but it's beautiful when we can come together and bring that, because that's what it is. It's exercise and diet or nutrition. You can't just have one without the other. So well, we're here, man.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I remember when I was introduced to the product, the guy was like, hey, man, I got some hemp oil. I'm like, bro, I quit smoking weed, man. I don't do that. I don't do that stuff no more, bro. That was high school, baby. He's like, no. He's like, no, man, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. You got to check this out. And I was like, I kept on, pushing off. And I remember when I bought my first bottle and I took a couple drops, and man, I felt instantaneously like I just had I had this feeling that I was relaxed, I was clear focused, and I felt great. Actually, Jonas, I don't remember me telling this story. I walked out to dinner. My buddy was in from New York, and we went to dinner. And I was giving everybody drops and stuff. I'm like, I feel great, and my wife looks over me because I'm laughing at everything. I just was in a great mood, and she looks at me. She goes, are you high? And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I took this stuff here, babe. I'm telling you, I quit. I don't want to do that stuff no more. And she's, and so that was how I started. But I remember how we got connected because over the next couple of days, what started to happen to my mind is like I had this immense brain fog. And I just remember calling you, and I was like, Jonas, like, dude, what's going on? I've got this brain fog going on. And you were like, oh, yeah. And you're like, well, let me tell you about my experience with the brain fog. Mm-hmm. So, by the way, one thing I left out that was a major piece. The reason why I started taking it was because I had suffered a concussion about 3 weeks prior to that. And I couldn't focus. I was all off. So my buddy did this. So he's like, oh, yeah, give Jonas a call. He's a concussion expert.
Wow. Which isn't good. And that's from a personal happenstance. Yes, concussion expert. And so just now that you're talking about that, I'm going to pull this up right here. I think this is pretty interesting. This is my brain. This is my brain. So this is a before and after of my brain. There's Dr. Ron right here. And so he's now our chief medical advisor for our company that we're with. But this is my brain 5 days off of hemp. And if you look down here, you can see it a little bit. That's the key. You don't want to be really pink and you don't want to be really yellow.
Okay.
So where you want to be is that good dark green. Well, this is me 5 days off of hemp. And you can see this is the back of the brain. That's the nose right here. This goes into all the brain waves of delta, theta, alpha, beta, and gamma. And so, kind of gamma is when you're full go, delta is when you're sleeping. This is how my brain, and you see that brain stem and the minute arteries that lead all to the back of the brain, pink as can be. And I told Doc, I said, hey, man, I was real snippy this week, for lack of better words. I was a mean person. And he goes, yeah, Jonas, he goes, you see this frontal cortex of your brain? Because that's your personality. You didn't have one.
Wow.
50 minutes later, less than an hour later, I take one dose of hemp. Here's my brain. You see the pink's gone. You see the green. You see my personality starting to come back to life. And I would tell people this all the time. And I was like, man, I just feel a lot better. Kind of like you did. I just feel a lot better. They go, no, you don't. Jonas, you're trying to sell me a bottle. And I said, look, I don't care if you want a bottle. I'm not making $1 million off of a bottle. You're my friend. You're my family. And I care about you. And this is what is making me feel better. And so when they get to see that, it's like, here's proof in the pudding of what's happening to a brain. Dr. Ron goes, look, we can do this with drugs, but it takes about 3 months to get this type of reaction from before and after. Because you just had that in 50 minutes. What we're doing is we're allowing those nutrients and that oxygen to pass the blood-brain barrier, and that leads us to what could be known as neurogenesis. Right? Neuro meaning the brain, genesis meaning the beginning or the rebuilding. And so, we can actually rebuild that brain, no matter if you were concussed. But here's the big thing, Luke, that I think everybody can understand, because maybe they didn't play football. Maybe they weren't getting hit in the head. Maybe they're not going through a class action lawsuit with the NFL like we are. But what else causes this? Toxicity, stress, poor diet, right? Yeah. All of that happens. If you're bathing in the water, right? If you're drinking sink water, if you're having anything that has been processed or, fake sugar added, there's so many hits of stress. Scientists say that we take about 60,000 hits of stress on a daily basis. Every time you breathe in, are there cars going by? Do you live within a mile of the highway? Do you have Wi-Fi going on? All of these different types of stress that people just don't realize. How can we combat that? That's what we're here to talk about, because we understand stress is everywhere. Do you cook with nonstick skillet? Do you have deodorant that has, aluminum in there? There's everything out there in the world that's quote unquote will kill you. What are you doing to combat that? That's where we're here really today, is what I see. It's like, hey, there's something that we can do to balance that endocannabinoid system back out, because we all have that endocannabinoid system. And when you can start seeing a brain do this to this within 50 minutes, that's something really special here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one of the things that I think is really interesting about that whole process. And I remember when the first, as we talked about it, and like, hey, man, brain fog, it's natural. Maybe start taking it at night so you can get through the day. And I didn't make the connection, because you're like, well, hey, Luke, it's actually a good sign that you're going through that brain fog, is because that means that if that was your symptoms prior to that you're actually healing. And I didn't connect that, because in nutritional therapy we talk about that too. Like, hey, if you have the same exact symptoms, that's a good sign. That's a good sign that your body's healing those symptoms. And I remember as I progressed through, I was having 4K dreams. It's actually to the point where I remember the story I told you. My wife one day was trying to wake me up, and supposedly, I guess she was shaking me for like 4 minutes. I've got 3 kids. I'm sure someone was screaming. And she's shaking me, and then finally I come to, and she's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" She goes, "I've been shaking you for 4 minutes. I thought you were dead." And I'm like, okay, whatever. And so like I stop. I stop and I start laughing. She goes, "It's not funny," and I'm like, "No, babe." I go, in my dream, we were driving down a bumpy road and you were screaming to tell me to stop.
No way. Perfect.
So I did this in my dream. I was like, so like the alarm clock dreams, right? So anyways, but over and over the course of like many, many weeks, man, my ADD started going away. Like I was all over, like I started getting more focused. My sleep was more consistent. My inflammation from all my strength training was different. I was happier as a father, as a parent. I was coming home like, hey kids, what's up? And I'm like, hey, I've got home from work, leave me alone and let me be. So I saw that radical shift, and it's just interesting to see the visual aspect, because I know I saw you post a picture, and that's what I was really gonna love talking about the before and afters. But man, it made so much sense. All of a sudden, like, hey, the main part where you use all your judgment, your frontal cortex, and personality, and that was for us. That was a part we were hitting with. You were taught to lead with, and as our brain is gushing, all around. And I love what you said. Medication. It's going to take you 3 months for you to get your healthy brain nowadays. And so there's so many people out there that maybe you're struggling with depression, or you're struggling with anxiety, something like that. Man, how life-changing to be able to get on a product that would be able to revert and go through that. So Jonas, I know there's right now there's so many products that are out there. They're hitting the shelf, and everybody's like, "Yo, Luke, what do I got to do, man? This Fresh Time's got this product that gets at this pill, and it's blah 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 blah." Like, let's help educate people on how do you find out the good products, and what's important to know about CBD when you're taking it?
Okay, so you're right. This is a trend that's really sweeping our nation. Everybody's trying to come out with quote unquote a CBD. You're finding it at gas stations, at smoke shops, at greenery places, at vape places, at grocery stores, Walmart, Target. Everybody's trying to come out with theirs because they're saying, hey, we see this wave. We want to catch the wave. And so just a few things. You always want to make sure that you have a certificate of analysis. You want to know where those raw goods come from. Because again, this is being treated as a whole food supplement. So just like you can take a really good vitamin and you can take a Flintstone vitamin, right? They both say vitamin. And so people say, well, that's all I need is a vitamin. Not really. We want to look at the certain nutrients. And so you kind of want to look at the certificate of analysis. You want to make sure that that company has a good manufacturing practices label on there as well. You want to find out if it's full spectrum, if it's broad spectrum, or if it's an isolate. Full spectrum means that it's going to have THC in there. So if you're getting drug tested, but the federal legal limit is 0.3%. So just be careful. If you're getting drug tested, you might not want a full spectrum. A broad spectrum will have everything from the hemp plant with 0 THC. So, I think those are some kind of things to look, because I have that. Well, Jonas, this one says full spectrum. This one says broad spectrum. What does that mean? Full is THC, broad is none. But they still have the CBN, the CBV, the CBC, and they have a lot of the other cannabinoids that come from that plant. And then an isolate would just be CBD strictly. And so you're always going to pay a little bit more as you go, or for different aspects, and see what they are. And that's where you really find that certificate of analysis. Like on our bottle right here, I'll kind of show you. We have where you can just use the QR code. Boom, you can pull that up and see the C of A. You can go to the certificate of analysis. You can see where the batch came from, how it was produced, what all's in there. So you want CBD, that's great science. We've been in this game for the last 3 years. What we've come to is now it's called CBG.
Next level. Uh-oh. Take the D out, put a G in.
Come on. So the CBG is actually the stem cell of the plant, if you will. So we have to, instead of the hemp plant being about 15 feet tall, we end up cutting the hemp plant when it's 2 feet tall. That way we get the mother, or the stem cell. CBG creates CBD. CBG also creates THC. So now if you find the people that say, well, I want combination therapy, great. Now we can give you combination therapy without the psychoactive high of THC. Now we're bringing all those together. And then, what we've been able to do is put more terpenes in there, right? Analgesics, anti-inflammatories, anti-neuropathy, you name it, antacid. If you're getting acid reflux, you can take this to help the gut microbiome, right? The gut-brain connection. That's where we're at when we did that study in front of about 250 practitioners, just to kind of show it. It was live. Hey, we're not here to hide anything. We're partnering with UC Davis, which is massive. So that way we're going to co-publish this study to be in the National Institute of Health. That's the other question I would ask some of these companies, if you get to talk to a representative, is, are you guys trying to put together any studies? What is it you are doing to go to the next level? Are you riding the wave? So I can tell you, like CBD, this is a liter bottle. CBD costs about $5,000. Here, CBG in the same liter is about $50,000 at cost. Woo. Right? So when you start looking at the differences, it's like, what's happening? And then really what's important to me is kind of that exclusive technology, right? Because then you can say, well, this CBD is this CBD and that CBD is, and this one is a lime flavor. This one's a ginger. This one's a lavender. You're going to
I can vape this one. I can shoot the other one.
That's the other one. Vaping, guys, you can vape B12, D3. That you do not want nutrients absorbing through the lungs. Just no practitioner in his right mind would ever say, yes, do that. Here's why people, you want to know why people feel better, Luke? And I think you probably understand this coming from the health and fitness arena. It's because they don't use their lung capacity. Yeah. They don't go, But guess what? When they do smoke or they do have a vape, that's what they do. They go, I already feel better.
Brilliant.
Just take that lung capacity and start to expand it. And when you work out real intensely, guess what? You're breathing like a son of a gun. So you're going, and when you finish, you're going, man, I just feel good. I don't know. I was getting my butt kicked through the Enshape workout, but man, now I feel great. Yes, because
that's good. That's a good point.
We oxygenated the whole body, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to inhale and get that oxygen in the lungs, but then they're bringing all this toxicity in with it. Yeah. We just talked about toxicity. You don't want that. So when we talk about exclusive technology, yes, I believe the old adage is you are what you eat. Mm-hmm. Everybody will agree with it. Yeah, you are what you eat. And I say, no, I think that's false. And here's why. I think you are what you absorb, digest, and assimilate.
Yeah.
If you're not careful, you become what you do not eliminate.
Woo! Come on, man. That's going to be a rap song right there.
It's true, because a lot of times we don't get that absorption, right? We might have the leaky gut.
You got to say that again, bro. I think people miss that. You got to say it again.
You aren't what you eat. You are what you absorb, digest, and assimilate. And if you're not careful, you become what you do not eliminate.
Woo!
You got to flush stuff out of the body. The body has what's called leaky gut, or we have retox, right? We can intox from a lot of bad sources that are out there. We can retox because we have that leaky brain, that leaky gut, and the body's just getting the bad stuff. Well, when do we get to detox? And this is the question I always ask. When's the last time you cleaned your kitchen sink? When's the last time you washed your car? Great. Those are things. Now let's look at the one thing that we can never change, which is our temple, our body, our God-given body. When's the last time you cleaned out your liver? When's the last time you've eaten for your gallbladder? When's the last time you've tried to flush your bile ducts?
Preach it, baby.
Your kidneys. Jonas, I don't know how to eat like that. This is
what are you talking about, Jonas? How do you do that? I don't even know what is that.
You don't think about it. But hey, man, my car is dirty. I better go spend $20, $30, $50 to go get it clean, because I don't want to be driving around in a dirty car when we're walking around in a dirty body.
Yeah.
That's what we call the vertical illness. You're walking around. I just got a letter from Humana that said 80% of adults are now on at least one prescription drug. 30% of adults are on 5 or more prescription drugs. Wow. Right? We have a vertical illness. We're walking around saying, oh, I want a drug. Well, the drug companies have what's called a continuum of care, meaning how long can I keep you on this drug and keep you alive? Not how fast can I heal you? Not how fast can I see your brain go from toxic to healthy? Right? They don't look at it that way. Here's what we have to do as each other, as humans, is try and teach and help educate each other on health, right? And you do it, like we said, you get to do it from both ends. You get to do it from the physical standpoint of moving the body, right? That natural detox of the lymphatic system, being able to move, flushing the body out. That's a great detox in and of itself. Yeah. What can we now put in to help the organs heal, right? You use protein, amino acids, post workout to make sure that the body, right? We create chaos when you're in the gym. We don't grow when we're in the gym. We grow when we're outside of the gym.
Yes.
We grow outside. So I always say, these are the muscle fibers. You rip them. Well, guess what? We want those amino acids. We want that protein to create that scar tissue. Now we have a better muscle. Now we've created more muscle skeletal tissue, so that way we can stress the body with the bone. Now we have stronger bones. Everything's getting healthy. Well, we need to do the same thing with our brain, with our central nervous system. How do we calm it down? How do we feed it? We don't mind chaos as long as we can control it. And that's where we can start controlling. And so when we look at our exclusive technology and getting back into this, right, we want that absorption. We want that digestion and we want that assimilation, or else we're wasting it. Well, I can tell you right now, look, I've done some studies. This is a company that sells, you can kind of see that. You see how that oil just kind of goes up? It looks like a lava lamp almost.
Yep.
You know, here's another one that kind of has more bubbles to it. If I could see that. You see the bubbles kind of going around.
Scientist, man. I'm going to start calling Coach Crafts. Call Dr. Crafts.
Not a doctor, 100%. So you see that oil. Well, here, I'm going to show you ours now. You don't see it collect at all. This is what we call absorption and assimilation, right? We want to get it absorbed or assimilated intracellularly. So what we utilize is what's called a nanotechnology with a liposomal delivery. Big words for saying it's so small that your body can't help but want to absorb it. I always kind of use the old analogy. We're sitting by a chain link fence, you and me, Luke. That chain link fence, we got this right here is the size of softballs, right? Okay, we got some softballs right here, and we want to try and get those softballs through a chain link fence. Are we going to get any through a chain link fence? Probably not. Well, we're going to get those dirt and debris that come off that ball, and they're going to go, and that's what the body absorbs, that 5%. You see it just sitting there at the top. So 5% absorption. It's a lot of money that we're spending to get 5% absorption.
Yep.
What we were able to do is take that same softball size and shrink it down to the size of a marble.
Wow. Now,
as we get that marble, if we're sitting in front of that chain link fence, how many marbles are we going to get through that chain link fence?
Wow.
Damn near all of them. About 90+%. So would you rather get 5% or 90%? And that's where people, well, how many milligrams does your have? And I say, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
How many milligrams is your body absorbing? Right? Assimilating. What is happening to the body? Are you paying a lot to get a little? Or are you paying the right amount to get even more? What is it you're doing? And so I think that exclusive technology really comes into place. And when we have exclusive technology and we can educate somebody on exclusive technology, you realize we have no competition. Everybody's fighting over CBD. Well, we've gone to CBG. Everybody's fighting over a regular absorption like this guy. Well, guess what? We have nanotechnology. This is where we differ. That's why we're partnering with UC Irvine. That's why we're doing scientific studies to be able to publish a study in the National Institute of Health, the NIH. This is big time stuff. We are a science-based company, not necessarily a Me Too company. And I say Me Too, meaning anybody and everybody's going to sell it. Target, Walmart, gas stations, you name it. Great. Those are Flintstone vitamins. That's third grade science. If you want PhD,
and they're charging you an arm and a leg too for it, bro. Like, hey, $90 for 500 milligrams of safflower oil.
So it's a big difference. I mean, that's what it is. It's really just going to be an education piece as this gets bigger and bigger. So if you're watching this and you're still watching this, I can tell you right now, you're the part of the 1 or 2% that actually know what's happening, why we have an endocannabinoid system, just like you have a musculoskeletal system, central nervous system, immune system, you have an endocannabinoid system. I can tell you you're 1 of 2% of the U.S. that actually knows about that. Then the exclusive technology. People just don't get to hear this all the time. And that's, to me, the biggest education piece, because when somebody finally has that aha moment, and I've talked to practitioners, pharmacists, RNs, nurse practitioners, mid-levels, and they all get that aha moment like, wow, this really does make sense. And you can't help but deny the fact of science making sense. And when you can do that, that's how we can get people to actually understand exactly what we're doing in the hemp realm. And that's why we call it hemp. I don't call it CBD because the DEA actually owns the patent CBD. If you see a product out there that does say CBD on it, they're either real small or they don't have a law firm that's worth anything, because the DEA has a patent on CBD. So make sure that that's never on your bottle if you're taking it, or else that company's not going to be around longer. They're going to get a cease and desist letter. Either way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so you gave us a lot there, and I think some of the things that stood out to me. So, like, whenever it comes to, especially from a nutritional aspect, right? And it doesn't matter whether you're taking a supplement, whether you eat processed food, whatever it is that you're consuming, organic food, right? Unless your body can break it down, digest it, assimilate it, and then eliminate all the other crap that your body's holding, you're not doing yourself any justice. And I love what you said, because one of the things that we're always focused on is the gut connection, right? The gut, the brain, the second brain. So, it's like, hey, if your gut is backed up with full of processed food, and then you're taking a crappy product, I love that, because people go, I took hemp oil, but it never, it doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work. I don't experience any difference. And I think that's the hard part about today's society, Jonas, and I know you see that firsthand, especially I love those stats that you said, 30% are taking 5 drugs or more. So you're taking a drug, which is only removing more of your nutrients in your body. So you're becoming even more nutrient deficient, which is why you were taking the drug in the first place, because you were nutrient deficient. Mm-hmm. So your body wasn't dealing with stress before. Now they just put a Band-Aid over it, which is only causing more problems somewhere else, which they're going to put a Band-Aid over that. And then, again, we're in that popping pill society where it's just like, I want to go away. Where at the end of the day, and I love, when you sent me all those articles to learn more about hemp and all the studies that are behind, like how it's shifted and it's changed. And there's a reason why the government hasn't wanted to get it out in the masses, because they're like, hey, 6 of our economy is pharmaceutical sales. If we lose that, what's going to happen, right? Like, and I think that's what's so sad now is one of my favorite quotes is, people are living too short and dying too long, right? Mm-hmm. So what do you call it? The vertical, you call it the
vertical illness.
Vertical illness, yeah, the vertical illness. And I love, when I started doing nutritional therapy, Jonas, one of the things I started recognizing is as good as like I was doing with getting people adaptogens, which for those of you, adaptogens are what turn off the fight or flight response. A lot of herbs are out there. Some of you, chamomile, you've drinking chamomile before. When you go to bed, it helps turn off the cortisol response. So we're putting people on adaptogens, but I kind of put myself out of business because it was like, hey, just take the hemp oil and how's it working? And I love what well, and I think one thing we should say, because and Jonas, I know you're going to agree with this. It's like people are like, oh, it's your hemp oil is that amazing? Your body is that amazing. Like your immune system is that amazing. Like God gave us something. It's like, hey, I know I'm going to be putting you in a toxic environment full of pollutants. So you got to have a system that can regulate itself. And I think that's what I think most people nowadays, like I have conversations all the time. Like, oh, I got allergies. Oh, you do? Yeah, I've had allergies. Like, so were you born with them? No. So I got older. Oh, you got older, and that's why the allergies come. It has nothing to do with your compromised immune system or anything you're putting in your diet or anything. But again, we're going back to the basics. Like, it's your immune system. And I love when you sent me that picture of all the CBD or the
receptors.
The receptors. I said CBD. The number 2 receptors. Why can't I think of the word, Jonas?
They're CB receptors.
Yeah, CBD receptors. Yeah, so the CB2 receptors, so that are all attached to your immune system. Mm-hmm. And so would you walk us through that a little bit? Because I know, I don't know, I don't know if you have a picture on your your computer that you can, with all the weird.
Let me see. I'm able to find that while I talk to you. But yeah, it's called your CB1, your CB2 receptors. So as you have those receptors, remember I talked about your endocannabinoid system. That's considered the master switch. So just like you have your central nervous system, your immune system, your musculoskeletal system, cardiovascular system, you have 12 systems in the body. Well, there's a 13th system called your endocannabinoid system. And this is one of the biggest things that we have because it's the master switch. So it's in a lot of your other, you have those receptor sites floating around in a lot of your other, here, I'll pull it up right here, in a lot of your other systems. And that's the whole idea. Let's pull this, share that action. So here you go. So your CB receptor sites all really located in that central nervous system throughout the immune system and a lot right here, the endocrine system, the hormone system. So what we do is we get to bring the body back to balance or a state of homeostasis. And I think you hit the nail on the head, and I'd say this in front of pharmacists all the time. I said, I think the best pharmacy in the world, and they all lean forward. Is he going to say my pharmacy? The best pharmacy in the world is the human body.
Absolutely.
The human body, if given the chance, can heal itself. This does not heal, cure, prevent, diagnose any illness or disease. What this simply does is it gives that master switch, your endocannabinoid system, which is in all your other systems, a chance to heal. Yeah. That will go and heal the body, right? Yeah. When we can fill up those receptor sites just floating around and go click, boom, we get to activate those systems. You really have a lot in that that central nervous system. That's where people go, well, Jonas, my shoulder's right here. Oh, I feel better. You know, the immune system, like you said, that's inflammation 101. You know, I get people through detoxes all the time, get them on hemp, and they go, Jonas, my allergies are gone. And I've been on, you know, Claritin, I've been on Mucinex, I've been on Nasonex and everything for the last, I'm like, how long have you been? For 10 years, you've constantly been taking allergy medications for 10 years? Well, yeah, you know, on and off. And how long is off? Maybe a couple weeks. Like, you just don't get it, do you? The body can heal itself, but we just got to get rid of all the inflammation. And it's when we trigger those allergies, I always kind of say it's the straw that breaks the camel's back. We all have inflammation in the body. But it's when that inflammation builds up. That's when you go, oh, my sinuses, oh, I have a bad headache. I can't breathe. Everything's done. My lungs feel bad. My eyes are swollen. No, it's really just because we were there getting full the whole time. And it's not about that. It's about how do we help the body naturally detox itself, because the body wants to do it. But that's where, again, where all the working out can help. But then what are we putting in the body to help the systems of the body be regulated again, to balance out the body? That's the biggest part. Rebalance your body. Then we can go build.
Yeah, you know, man, that's why I love to talk, man. That's why I had to get you on today, because Jonas, you're a wealth of knowledge, bro. And I'm getting motivated by you, bro. I mean, it's so true. Like, you know, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, you know, and I think this is an encouragement to those of you who are watching this right now, is like, you've been trained to depend on someone else to give you health. You know, the medical system today is saying that health is only somehow it's in this system, and like when you get sick, this is where you go to get better, right? You get a boo-boo, you put a Band-Aid on it, right? You know, you have a headache, you take Advil. And one of the things I think that you really have to start thinking about is, have you ever thought about how you were trained to do that? Just like, you know, like you had your box of cereal, the Kix, the Cheerios growing up, and you got trained on a brand that said, this is what you eat for breakfast, and got milk. Hey, drink milk. You got the white mustaches. You have to start, you know what I'm saying? You have to start thinking about, like, you were trained in this place to start thinking like in that regard. Because at the end of the day, it's change is hard unless it's automatic. Like, if I can automatically get you to start making a decision based on a product and it's in your everyday life, that's like how toothpaste. I love the story about toothpaste. You know, toothpaste was around for a while, but they like the habit that they created, it didn't have any bubbles. It didn't feel clean. So they, I don't know if you know the story, but I forget the company that started it, but they put bubbles in the toothpaste, the SLS, to make it bubbly. And all of a sudden, people started, and then the mint, and then had this feeling that they'd walk away with, like, I got to brush my teeth. It's not clean. I don't feel clean. When really, like, it felt clean when it didn't have the bubbles in it, but it just, and all of a sudden, now what do? You buy toothpaste every day, and you brush every day. You don't even have to think about me spending money on this product because it's been inundated. And I think that's what's happened to our society now. It's like, hey, you have this, you do this, but like, friends, like, I don't know if you hear what Jonas is saying, like, you have the power to not only radically change your health, but like, you can improve and go to a place you've never gone before. You know, so I know what you said, I've been out for 10 years. I don't even know what life looks like, Jonas. But you could, because you probably heard this before, you know, people come to you like, hey, man, I just want to get back to like 25 years ago, man. Like, hey, I'm like, hey, how about we go to when you were like first born? You know, when your immune system was firing, like everything was growth, and you were regenerating, and your body was healing, and like you didn't have all that excess burden, the toxic burden or the inflammation that you have in your system now. Like, you were golden, like your body was like alive and vibrant. And I'm a man of faith. You know that. So like, God's like, I came to give you life and life more abundantly. I didn't have you. I'm like, the job wasn't for you to walk around dead all day long. Like, and I think that's sad is, folks, we're used to feeling dead. And I love the analogy that someone gave me. It's like it's like as soon as you start getting healthy, it's like you got the dead person, like it's like you buried the dead person.
Mm-hmm.
And then for some reason we go back and we want to dance with a dead person. And like, but no, he's my dead person. Like I felt he helped me through many, so like this is the analogy that like, hey folks, like I get it. Part of the reason of you growing and getting healthier and improving your system and your body is understanding that it's not you can't do a popping pill like fix. Like that's a short-term solution for a long-term problem. And we're not going to go into this today because this is a whole other conversation, but we're talking about lifestyle. Like when you start understanding these things, like this is a lifestyle. Like, for you, all you high performers out there, like high performers come at a risk, right? Like comes at a risk. Like Jonas, I'm like, man, at 27, man, I was like, people are like, oh man, you own your own business. I'm like, dude, you know how much I've had to put into developing myself in order to actually survive. And that was, I remember when I hit that wall with stress burden. Man, you brought, also we popped number one kid. And I'm like, I got to run a business. I'm married, and we got a kid. Like the stress, and then we're not even going to talk about all the other influences of food and all that stuff that add into the mix, right? So all I'm saying is like what it has to be a lifestyle. It's not a, hey, I'm just going to take this and I don't have to change anything. Mm-hmm. That's not what we're saying about CBD.
Correct.
Because I love what you said. My clients, I get them to I'm going to detox. You said I'm going to detox their liver first, get their body ready, eliminate all the toxins, and then I'm going to put them on CBD, so not only can they absorb it, but they can heal a lot faster. And folks, and I love what you said, the analogy. Do you change your spark plugs? Do you inflate your tires? Do you rotate? Do you change your brakes out? You're not putting sugar water in your gas tank. You're washing it. You're buffing it. You're doing more for your car than you are for your body. And I love that analogy. When's the last time you flushed? When's the last time you actually went to the mechanic because the check engine light's been on your dashboard for a long time, mm-hmm. but you've been putting black tape over and going, oh, I've got this pain. I've got this headache. I've got this. Let me just go to the doctor. He's going to pop the pill. Folks, it's in your power to change. You have the ability to change. And I'm telling you, based on my own experience, I know, and based on Jonas's experience, hemp oil is one of the best ways that you can get your body back in a position where you can start winning at life. And that's what we're all about. Like we want you to win at life and get to the place where you can start feeling and moving better. So Jonas, I know our time's coming to an end. Talk to the people who are skeptical, like, oh man, but this is weed, isn't it, man? Like I'm gonna get high off this stuff, right? Like because I don't do that stuff. Would you talk to that population, that the stigma behind hemp, marijuana, all that stuff? Like, why do people talk about the healing properties and why, what's really going to take you to the next level and then why it's way different than you smoking marijuana?
Yeah. So those are two different plants actually. So when you look at cannabis versus hemp, here's something beautiful. And women will love this answer right here. Cannabis is the male plant. Hemp is the female plant. Cannabis is crazy because it's psychoactive. Hemp is the loving, the mother nature, the giving, right? And us guys, we're a little crazy. We get it, women. We get it. You're the mother nature. You're the caregiver. You're the good one. So within this bottle, I tell people, and I love how JT, our lead marketer, kind of says this because he grew up in Baptist community and his mother said the same thing. His dad died on 420. His mother, and then he starts selling hemp, and his mom goes, "Oh Lord, just take me now. I don't want to be a part of this. Like, what's going on?"
Big JT.
He goes, "Mom, they took the sin out of the bottle." He goes, "Oh, will this help with my antacid? Will this help with my diverticulitis? Will this help with my pain?" Yes. Now, her and all the Sunday school teachers are out taking their hemp and making sure that their body feels better, feeling so much better. I mean, gosh, you just see people that were going to the hospital on a weekly, monthly, bi-monthly basis.
Yes.
They haven't gone to the hospital again, because their body's starting to feel better. I have it here. We do IV therapy. I have patients that are trying to get off of drug addictions. And I try and show them this. And, sometimes their caregivers or their family members are saying, hold on. We don't want to give them more drugs. I'm like, no, let's go look this up, and I encourage everybody to go on Google, because this is going to be one of your best friends right now. And yes, you can type in CBD on Google because it stands for cannabinoid. And so you can just type in CBD oil benefits, whatever ailment. CBD oil benefits, God, I can't even think, diabetes. CBD oil benefits anxiety. CBD oil benefits inflammation. CBD oil benefits whatever you want. Put that ailment in, and you'll see study after study after study after study. Yep. PubMed has over about, I think, several thousand studies on different things. And so just dive in. And that's what I would tell you. Yes, be skeptical. Come with all your questions. 100%. Be skeptical, especially for some of the companies that are out there that might give you mail outs, might be hitting you in your email boxes. Definitely be skeptical of that. Ask questions with them. But when it comes to the actual plant, I believe in a God-given plant meant for a God-given body. Not a synthetic drug meant for a God-given body. Not a man-made drug meant for a God-given body. I don't believe in that. And so when we can actually look at plant-based medicine, food is thy medicine and medicine is thy food. And if we can understand that, we can get medically healthy based upon everything that grows from God's green earth. And so if you do have that skepticism, if you are fearful that this product might have, THC or whatever, I can tell you right now, there's no THC. It even says it on there. No THC, if we can even kind of see right there. No THC, THC free. Everything that you have, it's not there. Don't be afraid to get healthy, right? Don't have the fear of success of saying, well, what if I do get healthy? Then people aren't going to look at me the same. I'm not going to be loved the same, because sometimes people, Luke, and you've probably seen this, people like to stay unhealthy because that's how they get notoriety. That's how they get certainty that they know that, then people love them. Oh, let me take you to the hospital. Oh, let me get healthy again. Go be that light out in the world, right? We're all given a gift. And our idea is to be able to give that gift away. So what is your gift? And maybe we could have that health be your gift, and maybe go give that gift to somebody else. And that's what we get to do, is we get to spread this with each other.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, Jonas, man, I appreciate it, bro. You are the bomb, dude, for hopping on it. That's my boy from Texas.
Come on.
You in Austin, right?
San Antonio.
Or San Antonio. What am I talking about, bro? San Antonio. I missed, because that's where I came to Austin. I missed you, bro. Oh, hey, man, I appreciate you jumping on and dropping your knowledge. Folks, man, I know someone was impacted by this message today. Would you share this? Tag someone who needs to hear this, so who's been struggling on medications, and guys, this is a gift. This is a gift. It can be a blessing or a curse. You can hear it and use it, or you can just ignore it. But hemp oil, CBG isn't going anywhere. It's only going to be growing. You need to get in that. You need to start taking it, consuming it. Everybody's going to have a different experience, and there are no promises as to what's going to happen in your body, because your body, all we're doing is we want to get your immune system back online for it to do its job, because that's what it's going to do. And there's nothing better than to do that than to using hemp oil. So, hey, Jonas, man, I love you, brother. I appreciate you, man. We'll connect next week, and until that time, we'll be live with Luke next week with some other special guests. We'll post about it later. All right, Jonas, my man. Love you, bro.
Love you, dude. Take care, man.